Hey everyone, it is Spencer here and welcome back to another running vlog. I just wanted to give another update on how my training is going. I've got about 3.5 weeks to go until the Sun Valley, Idaho Marathon. It's a Revel race and less than a month to go. It's on June 26th, 2021. And even though it's been about 3.5 weeks since I've recorded a video, I think, I have been doing lots of training and training has been going really well actually. And so I want to just share what I've been working on, some of the training runs that have gone really well, and then also to let you know that I am human. There are certainly some training runs that have not gone perfect, not ideal, but overall training has been going really well, and I just want to share some of my progress here. All right, so if we take a look at my training plan here, the last video that I had recorded was during this week, something around the 12th or 13th of the month. And then the very next day, I had a pace run that I was supposed to see, as you can see, run 7 miles at a 7:19 to 7:24 pace, then with a cool down. That didn't go as I had hoped. I had been running great paces, having great runs, and then I went outside. It was a little bit warm that day, and maybe my legs were tired. I don't know, but I got into it, and you can see that I did a couple of miles, 7:19 pace like I was supposed to, and then instead of sticking with the 7:19 to 7:24, I just was not feeling it. And at that point, I just brought it home. And I just share that with you because not all runs go according to plan. But I wanted to redeem myself, so on the weekend, I had this Saturday hard long run, as you can see here, and my pace was much better at that point. I was supposed to run a 5-mile kind of warm-up, and then 5 miles hard at 7:24 to 7:34 pace, capped off with kind of a 5-mile cool down, if you will. So not a super long, just 15-mile run. And if we take a look at this, we can see that I was supposed to run 5 miles from 7:24 to 7:34. You can see that I clearly did that. And in fact, I was feeling good. I decided, you know what? I want to hit at least a couple of miles sub-marathon pace. And so I did that, 7:02 and 7:01. And then I brought in the last 5 miles and even picked it up a little bit with a 7:32 pace. And so for most of my long runs, I always try to, if possible, finish off a little bit faster because that's how I'd like the marathon to go. Even though that is usually not the case. Usually I'm slowing down. But if I can finish strong, that's a big deal in the marathon. And so then just to talk through a couple of other runs that I've done throughout the week. The next week on Thursday, I did a threshold run, and I was pumping my fists when I finished this run because it went so well. I knew it was going to be hard, running 3 miles at 7:04 pace, followed immediately by 3 miles at 6:54 to 6:59. I had to do it on a treadmill just because of time of day and the way it worked out, but I did it, and I was thrilled. That was really a confidence booster. To be able to do 6 miles at faster than marathon pace on a treadmill, on a Thursday. So I'm really happy about that. And then that weekend I did 21 miles, which again is just sort of testing my distance and the ability to do a longer run of over 20 miles. And I do have that one here on the Garmin watch as well, that I'll just pull up that you can see here. And a lap pace, and again it called for a lap mile pace between 7:34 and 8:34, and I clearly did that. All of my miles were under 8:34, and really just wanted to go nice and easy. So what felt nice and easy on this day was somewhere between an 8:05 and 8:10 mostly. You can see that my total average ended up at an 8:08 average pace. And even though I didn't pick it up a lot, I did do the last mile faster at a 7:48 pace. So I felt good. I was able to finish strong on a 21 mile run, which again is a good sign. And I did more than what the training program called for. And then on, anyways, Monday the 25th, or actually maybe 26th of May, I did YASO 800s. And again, this is on a treadmill, so I don't have any Garmin data to share, but this is one that was another big confidence booster. I was able to do 10 800-meter YASOs at a pace of about 6:07, so about a 3:03 to 3:04 800-meter pace with recovery 400 meters of a very slow jog. And so I was able to do primarily no rest at all. A couple of them I maybe rested 10 or 15 seconds, but mostly was able to go right into a slow jog and then do the YASO 800s. And again, I tried this a month and a half ago maybe, and I could definitely not do the YASO 800s at pace. And so being able to do 10 of them at pace and do it well is a confidence booster. So I can clearly see that my training is paying off and I'm making progress there. And then, yeah, really just kind of capped off the week. I did do a 17 miler. Nothing too exciting it was kind of a recovery because I did a 21 miler, then the next week was 17. Now this weekend I'm going to do a 22 miler. And so this is, if I pull up my 17 miler, again, I was actually on a camp out with family, and so I got up really early and got to run a very cool course, but I wasn't feeling 100%, just the travel and camping legs, as I like to call them. It's always a little bit harder, but I got it under the, 7:34 to 8:34 pace. I think my slowest mile here was an 8:27, something like that, and finished up sub 8. So nothing too crazy, but a nice long recovery run. Now, coming up on my training program for this week, I believe it is actually the hardest week of my entire marathon training program, particularly the threshold run that I have. I'll have a screenshot here. It's a lot of fast miles. I'm a little bit concerned, but I think I'm going to be able to do it, and if I will, that's going to be a huge confidence booster. And then on Saturday, I have a 22 miler. Not that I'm concerned about that because I did well on the 21 miler, but I want to make it a dress rehearsal where I wear my race shoes, socks, all the gear that I wear on race day, and wear my gel belt so I can practice using the gels that I will during the race. So it's kind of a dress rehearsal because this is my last really big long run. It tapers down from there. And so this week is super, super hard week. And then it does taper down to a few less miles, but the intensity is still there. Just to give you an idea, next week is still 45 miles. And so it's almost 10 less miles that I'll be running this week. But I'm still going to be running fast miles. And I'm a big believer in that, to not taper too much. You still want to keep up some speed. You want to remind your legs what it's like to go at pace and faster. You just start to let your legs recover a little bit with less mileage. Now, having said all that, let's take a look at weight loss. I've been tracking my weight loss over time, and you can see that I sort of bottomed out here at 133.2 pounds, which was a 17-pound weight loss overall since March 17th. And but you can see this week, it's hard to say that I actually gained weight, because if I were to track and show the weight of every single day on this graph, there's a lot of fluctuations up and down. I just happened to weigh myself this morning, which was a little bit more than 5 days ago. I actually think that like today and tomorrow, after I do a couple of hard workouts, I'm going to probably maybe even be less than 133 in a couple of days. So I'm not too concerned. The graph shows a little bit of a blip up. I still have a shot of hitting my goal at 130 pounds. Will I get there? I don't know, but I've made a huge dent. I've gotten into great racing shape. Even if I sort of finish at 133, I'm in great shape and think I have an excellent shot of hitting my goal. But I'm going to still, over the next 3 weeks, try to lose an additional 3 to 4 pounds, and hopefully I'll get there. I'm getting really close, and I'm excited to see what I've been able to accomplish over the last couple of months. So there you have it. That's how my training has gone over the last few weeks. It's going really well. I still feel like my goal of qualifying for Boston is a solid one. I've got a good shot at it, and a goal of setting a PR, and even better, my top goal, if I can get a 3:05, which would be 5 minutes under Boston qualifying time, that would be amazing. So now I have time to start thinking about race day strategy. I'm going to start looking at the course a little bit closer and start planning out sort of that race day and just everything that's going to go with that race. I've got a little bit over 3 weeks to go. I'm excited for it to come, and I'm definitely going to keep recording these videos and posting my progress. So I hope that you are enjoying the updates. Thanks a lot for following along.